The Catherine Palace was built for Elizabeth, but named after her mother, Catherine.
During the German occupation, German officers lived in the palace, and the chapel was used as a garage. In 2003, when we celebrated the 200th anniversary of foundation of St. Petersburg, was engaged 200 kilograms of gold for restoration of.
This is known as the Golden Gate. Gee, I wonder why. These were guest rooms. Nicholas II's family was kept here after the revolution before they were sent east to their deaths.
So this palace was built in the middle of the 18th century for Elizabeth, the daughter of Peter the Great and Catherine I. So the palace was designed by Rastrelli, and the architectural style here is Baroque, which was typical for the middle of the 18th century. So this palace happened to be the favorite palace of the imperial family. They stayed in this palace from May until September. Well, to tell you the truth, the last people who actually lived in this palace were the family of Alexander II. You know, they loved the palace so much that they didn't want to have any alterations here. And they lived away to the ballroom where ball parties were held. So the guests had to walk through these rooms. They didn't have to go by that stairway because there was another stairway behind the closed door. But you know, they had to walk through these rooms to the grand hall and to participate in the parties there. So in this room they could have kind of dessert. So before they went to dance, they could have a snack, mostly dessert. And here on the table we have, it's like a marshmallow. It's a copy which was made in Riga a few years ago. So it can be eaten. And of course, you know, the pieces like green and pink used to be on every table. And then when the copy was made in Riga and placed here, people who work in the museum were allowed to taste what they made. And they liked it so much that practically all the dessert is eaten up. Well, since this palace was badly damaged during the German occupation, all the floors here are copies of inlay floors of the 18th century. The ceiling paintings, i.e. the copies like here, all they were replaced by the paintings from the Hermitage and other museums. The Delft tiles did not survive, only small fragments of them did. And after the war, new stalls were built, and they're faced with the tiles which are copies made in this country after the war.
This is a grand hall. As the light gallery, because there are two rows of windows, mirrors are put between them, and the whole makes an impression of being transparent. So hence the name, the light gallery. A bomb fell down here in World War II.
And then of course the ones which were destroyed were replaced by the organization. Then they were all faced with gold leaf.
8 kilograms of gold just in this room.
Well, it's a kind of a paradox.
Yeah, after the war they restored this. The good communists restored it. Not much food in the grocery store, but hey, they restored this for some reason. Here's the main entrance.
Do you want all the tops too? 19th century, where they didn't use gold leaf anymore. So it never had any gold leaf, it was always white. The staircase was built in the time of Alexander II. That's why above the doors you can see the initials of Alexander and his wife Maria or Mary. The
some private belongings and services which belong to the last Russian emperor. That's Nicholas II and his wife. You can see their portraits here. They were painted in the Alexander's Palace, where Nicholas II stayed after his education. So I've told you that Nicholas was a very handsome man, but not very impressive because belongings and the portraits of Alexander III and his eldest son, Nicholas II. You can see Alexander III on horseback here. Remember, I told you he was a very big, very powerful man. Look at his uniform there, his size. This is his son, Nicholas II, handsome but very small. And look at his size.
This is Catherine the Great's dress as an army colonel.
There were picture galleries in every palace. And this is the picture gallery which was built for Elizabeth, where she used to receive foreign ambassadors, respective of national belonging, art, school, or time, but according to colors, subject matters, and sizes. If a painting was too large to be put into a particular frame, then it was cut into smaller pieces.
Catherine II's grandson, Alexander I. This was his room. The most famous room in the palace is the Amber Room. It consisted of over 6 tons of amber with 100,000 perfectly fitted pieces. During World War II, the Amber Room was looted and taken to Germany. Near the end of the war, it disappeared. In the early 80s, Russian artists, using old black and white photos, began recreating the panels using the old techniques. The recreated room was opened in 2003.
In the statue of Alexander is a copy made after the war. Well, the walls there and in this room are faced with 4 of fake marble, which was made of plastic, were and are still treated here. So Rastrelli died, and Charles Cameron came from Scotland. He designed the rooms here for Catherine the Great in classical style. It's a very good example of classical style, very reserved but very elegant, never had any gold in it. This is the green dining room where the meals were held, and when the meals were over, the tables would be taken away from the room and it would be used as a sitting room.
These floors are original from Catherine the Great's period. There was a fire in 1944, but this part of the palace did not burn. We're on the first floor. This was the servants' quarters in the kitchens and so on, so obviously not decorated. This is from 1945. After 1945,
a little bit of work.
this is the back entrance, and we see the tour groups or the tourists lining up to go in here. Luckily, we've already come and gone. The gardens are from the time of Elizabeth.
Talking and gossiping, and then all of a sudden people would break up and the set up table would be brought to their level, and then they would enjoy their drinks and their food. So this is the so-called dumb waiter. It doesn't exist anymore because it was ruined. And bigger, and she needed more exercises, so the gallery was built for her. And if the weather was nice, she would walk in the open gallery. If the weather was bad, she would walk in the indoor gallery.
Here's a picture of the whole property here. And here's where we are. There's the palace, and these are some of the grounds.